Wrap. This is an underground show above ground that for the next 8 weeks is hosting conversations with incredible female artists based in New York City to talk about their recipes for art and process. My name is Emily Baltz, and I'm your host. And today I'm sitting here with Cheryl Dunn, who is an incredible photographer. I really wish I was wearing sunglasses as well, because what you don't know is that it's really bright and actually quite hot for near mid-September in New York City right now. But that said, Cheryl, I just want to introduce you quickly to everyone who's watching. I have here that Cheryl Dunn is a photographer and filmmaker. She is well known for directing the documentary film Everybody's Street that released in 2013, featuring over a dozen legendary New York City street photographers. Her films have been played at film festivals around the world, and her personal photography has also been exhibited on an international level. Dunn is originally from New Jersey and received a BFA in art history from Rutgers University. Welcome, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me, as we were chatting a little bit before the camera went on, I have such a deep love of photography and admiration for everyone who's made their career of it. Tell me what exactly you photograph and what your message is when you go about making images, moving or still.
I think I'm very attracted to kind of the organic messaging, compositionally, through signage, through protests that happens, that emerges from the street. And I feel like I'm a catalyst to spreading that message because I feel it's vitally important.
Yeah. How did you begin this career path?
As you know, I think as a young person, which I tell other young people trying to figure out what they want to be in life, it's about trying lots of things and figuring out what you don't like, and through that you find out what inspires in you and what you do like and what you think you can do for your whole entire life. And you know, coming from a small town, and even though I was very close to New York City, you could see this big, giant, glowing, amazing place over there. And even though it took maybe 30 minutes to drive there, I didn't have a car. So it could have been across the country.
Right,
you know?
yeah, definitely.
So all I knew is I was going to live there, and I wanted to travel the world. So I needed to figure out how I was going to do that. And, and then I think probably about when I was 24, I figured out that photography was something that absolutely fully engaged me in every single way, and my mind didn't wander, and I thought, could I do this? And also a good thing when you're young is that you're naive to the journey of doing something, so you hopefully go for things, because if you knew what it was going to take, you'd probably not do that. So I embarked in that direction.
Yeah. It sounds like all the yeses then lead to the nos. Like I say yes to all these things, and then I choose what I don't want to do or what I do want to do.
Yeah, I think you should try everything. You should study everything that you're slightly interested in. I mean, to say to someone that's 18, like, what do you want to be? You know, what do you want to be? And having to decide, I'm like, I want to be a marine biologist. I don't know. I just don't know that you know enough to make that decision. So I think you should try. There's no time clock, and I think that to sustain something for your entire life, I know when I was making Everybody's Street, it was a 4-year project, and I read the newspaper every day, and I would take note of obituaries of artists and photographers, and maybe these are the ones that the New York Times report on, but they're all in their 90s, and I'm like, and working to the day they die, you know, and if you can do that, that's my goal, like to be working to the day I die, to be engaged, to be trying new things, to be inspired. And so that is something to find that might take you till you're 30 years old. It might take you, but maybe you'll live to your 90s. So, you know, you want to sustain that and be inspired.
Yeah, and you just mentioned Everybody's Street, which is such an incredible piece of work. And tell me more about it, what it captures, and how you went about creating it.
Everybody's Street is a documentary about New York City street photographers, and it was initially a commission from the Seaport Museum in Lower Manhattan, and they were doing an Alfred Stieglitz exhibition, and they wanted a filmic component to this show. And I got a call one night, and I really remember this. And it was someone that I was acquainted with, a friend, and she said, come up with an idea. And I was like, ding, 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 I want to meet my idols, like maybe I can meet Bruce Davidson, So I said, I want to make a film about street photographers that followed in Stieglitz's footsteps and went to the streets of New York and created substantial bodies of work about the streets of New York and that we're living to tell. Because I feel like if you can speak to an artist about his or her process rather than a critic or a pundit or whatever, that's a treasure. And a lot of these photographers have had, that I was very inspired by, have had very long careers. And photographers tend to hide behind cameras. They're not so much in front of cameras. So that was the goal for this project.
Yeah.
And it started as a short, and then got a lot of response. And then I went back into it, and I made a feature-length film out of it.
Oh, this is inspiring. How and if there's a difference between being a female photographer versus a male photographer?
Absolutely. And it's just like in life, there's a different chemistry, there's different dynamics and energy. But as a female photographer, I think I asked that same question to Mary Ellen Mark, bless her, and because she was aggressively going for so many heavy-duty assignments for Life magazine at the heyday of Life magazine, all the work she did in India. And I said, what was the difference? What were the drawbacks? What are the assets of being a woman street photographer or photographer? And she said, well, maybe people were a little bit leery in assigning her certain things, that she couldn't deal with the dangerous place or the situation, or she couldn't handle carrying the equipment or something like that, which is not true. But she said but the upside is that she could walk down a street and knock on a door and someone's going to let her in, that she's less intimidating than a man. And that's absolutely true. And I have had friends that were had the police called on them because they photographed a scene on the street and there was a child in the picture, and a mother called the cops on my friend, and he actually spent the night in jail, and that's never happened to me, and I don't believe that would happen to me because I'm a woman. So there is an upside and a downside to all things in all occupations about being a female, but you have to just work with the tools that you have and use the good parts of that and defy the preconceived notions of what you can't do as a woman. And I think in my career, and I hope this happens less, but I know when I was younger, and it often comes from other women, like people telling you to be afraid. You can't do that. Be careful. That's too dangerous for you. And I absolutely, I just think that women need to just be wary of that people try to instill their fears onto women. For some reason, they do that, and in work and occupation, and an occupation like this, and it's ridiculous, And, I think fear is something that you should not teach anyone.
Yeah, it's a virus in and of itself.
Yeah.
Do you think that everyone has an artistic voice?
I think I do, and it's funny when people. I was just on a plane editing some pictures, and the steward kept going by me and the designer. We had just shot a lookbook in Death Valley, and he was like, oh, I love those pictures. He's like, I'm so not artistic, and he just kept saying that. We're like, why do you think that? Because probably somebody in his childhood told him, you're not an artist, you're good at math or something, and I've seen it firsthand with young people and nieces in my life, taking them on a photo shoot, and all of a sudden the possibilities of what they could be just like cracked open. I took my nieces when they were 9 and 10 on a 17 women in a farmhouse upstate New York doing a fashion story from all countries, with so many accents. And before they went on their trip, the women that they had in their life, their frame of reference were moms and teachers. When they got back from that trip, they were like, oh my God, I could be a makeup artist, I could be a stylist, I could speak with this British accent, and it changed their lives. It changed the course of their lives.
Yeah.
You know, so you tell a kid, you know, they draw a picture and you're like, oh my God, that's so amazing. They're going to draw another picture. A kid draws a picture, gives it to you, you're like, yeah, great, you throw it on the floor. They might not draw another picture in their lives. You know, and I truly believe that everyone is intrinsically has the need and desire to be creative. Absolutely.
Yeah, that idea of being able to have more perspective and more vision. I even think when I look at some of your work, for example, you have this beautiful book, Festivals Are Good, which is such an interesting approach to music festival photography, because you specifically turn away from the stage and you're looking at the audience. And that same gaze that you just talked about in terms of having a variety of options and possibilities of role models also seems to be like, I'm not going to just look that way. I will also look this way.
I absolutely learned from those kids. And
what you can't see is that we have an amazing bystander in the front window, which I think is setting you up for kind of a great shot.
No, where's my camera?
I know.
I'm going to answer that and grab
Everyone
my camera.
who's not here right now, can you hear us, man? Yes, you can. Hello. He has this incredible green sock neon shoe outfit going on, matching neck scarf.
Oops, no splash, sorry.
It's becoming not only a studio interview, but also a studio of practice. Thank you so much. Speaking of altering our gaze.
In speaking about the festivals, like yes, I'm that body of work I'm interested in these young people that just the passion and the excitement and the unmitigated just expression of being so psyched to see your favorite band, and kind of to me, in my walk of life, that's where I experience that emotion in someone's face, and only there, So I really, I love photographing that, and also that experience of going to a music festival. I go to Bonnaroo every year. It's 100,000 people, 4 days of shooting. So I get to not stop for 4 days. I get to see in a very broad range some people what they're doing, how they're reacting to me taking their picture, how they're using photography. It changes every year. It changes every 6 months as technology changes people's behavior with photography. And I kind of obviously studied that. I made a film about it. But there's a cross between the festival practice and street photography. Absolutely. So it's like you have to keep your wheels greased, So it's hard for me in New York City to spend 4 days straight shooting on the streets. I have to do other things.
Sure.
But when I go there, I get to do that, and I get to just, run a marathon of photography, and really get really fast and really just, keep my muscles in tune. And often I'll come back to New York, and also you're in a city of people that are all happy. Much and psyched, and so everyone's happy, and then I come back to New York, and I walk up to a stranger and I get in their face with my camera, and they're like, get out of my face. I'm like, oh shit. I was using my Tennessee festival photography practice instead of my New York City street photography. Forgetting whoa, okay, I gotta get this zone now. So, but anyway, they really lend themselves to each other. Different things you learn from your equipment and from people,
Sure.
in different areas of shooting.
And that dichotomy seems to be inherent to your work, because you have a body of what I would call fine artwork. You also have a commercial practice. Do you think that there's a difference between this entrepreneurial side, this artist side? How do you navigate that divide?
I mean, I think it used to be looked down upon to do commercial work if you were trying to be an artist. I'm not trying to be anything. I'm just trying to explore things that inspire me, be shooting as much as possible, make enough money to survive in this city, and be able to make my next thing.
Attracted your own street photography set. There's like all of these incredible people standing in front.
That's another thing. You don't have to go anywhere if you just stay in one place. Everything comes to you.
Oh, yeah.
Just keep your eyes open.
These are abounding with metaphors right now. So literally to wrap that up with the metaphor as well.
The wrap?
Yeah, with the wrap.
With a wrap.
We made you the Cheryl wrap in collaboration with Chef Alicia Walters. She's at Once Upon a Tart down the street. And this is...
You're not the chef?
Yeah, I am the consulting chef. She's making them right now. Chicken, arugula, capers, mozzarella, and tomato.
Wow, you just wrote everything that I said.
Yeah, in one delicious
guideline, but that's good.
It's pretty delicious. I tasted my own version of it.
I don't know that I could eat it, but
well, I hope you do. It's not to be an artifact. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to hear your journey. And I think that all of these literally lessons come out of this, I think, that are for us and for all those beyond. Only time will tell where we go as a species, but it's really incredible.
Have no fear, girls.
You have no fear. Go girls.
Go girls, go girls. And boys. But
yeah. But go girls.
Go girls.
Yeah. Thank you.